you want to rehearse?
Right.
You need a rehearsal? You want to go put on a leotard so you can do a dress rehearsal? Huh? Welcome.
Hello.
We back.
We back.
Tuna fork, man. We back in here. I'm Life.
Listen, man. I'm figuring it out.
Figure it out.
Nice to meet you.
We back at it, man. We live, we hot, we moving around, everything working, and we in the process, man.
Mm-hmm.
You all right, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just, you said you wanted to go, so let's go.
All right, what we talking about today?
I don't know.
Damn, wasn't you supposed to have?
Hold on, when I was trying to figure it out, you were like, let's go. I was like,
But I thought you said you had it already.
See what I mean?
You sent me the topic of the shit 2 days ago.
So here's what we be doing before we fucking start recording.
Yeah.
We'll look at each other. Life is go, 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 go. Let's go. And I'll be like, okay, so I need to think first. I got to process shit in my head. And sometimes you see me look up and look right. I don't know if you see that, like when you be editing and shit. Like, sometimes I don't be having the answers, bro. I swear I don't be having the answers. And you can tell by how much I fluster and say, no. Or like all those little things is me trying to figure shit out. Like, cause I don't fucking know.
I thought you were just slow, and you know what I'm saying?
That too.
You're trying to figure out words in your mind.
Listen, man, my CPU, dog, is 45 years old.
Yeah, your shit's fluttering, dog.
And it, you can't upgrade the motherfucker.
Why not?
You just, cause this came out the factory.
You can still upgrade it, right?
Nah, man, until the technology changes, I can't upgrade.
I feel like you can upgrade it, dog. I feel like you can offload some of the shit and then have a fresh, clean drive that you can start adjusting shit to. The more you offload, the more,
How you doing
how
with
the
your
CPU
offload?
run. It's fucked up, but that ain't the point. I'm just saying in theory.
Bro, like all this shit theoretical.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Motherfucker, this is dark matter.
It's quantum theory.
Quantum physics.
And you know what's funny, dog? People walk around think that they could just say shit and they gotta figure it out. Like, they just give advice like the shit is that easy, dog. It ain't.
It ain't easy at all.
Man. It ain't, man.
It ain't easy at all. How'd you feel about the thing yesterday, last recording?
I mean, it was good, man. I felt good about it. Looked at it, I felt it was solid.
I liked it because I think it kind of dovetails into today's topic, which is checking up on your strong friends. And I've been seeing a lot of stuff online and just, hearing about people who, are no longer with us because they did something to themselves. And, on the surface, everything looked fine, and they appeared to be firing on all cylinders and have the perfect life and be that strong person that a lot of people, kind of want to be or want to emulate, but they struggling like a motherfucker with shit. Yep. And last week was kind of like an opportunity for me, man, to just let you know that I see your shit as your brother from another, and that I appreciate you, man, and that I'm always here. And then going back and looking at some of these other videos, I realized some people don't have that.
Yeah.
And if they do have it, they're not being checked up on because of this appearance of having it all together.
Yep. And yeah, man, it's tough because even if you feel like you feel like you don't have it because you feel like people won't understand. Like a lot of people interact with people in a very critical way. And it's not on purpose. It's not because they're mean. It's not because they don't like them. It's because that's the only way they know how to interact. So if someone is hurting and suffering, and your response is always, man, shake that shit off, get up, you know what I'm saying? Then that makes them not want to come to you or not want to feel like that they're in a space to have those conversations. And to what you said before, man, there are physical issues, like with the cat from Tampa Bay, the receiver. He, is always that CTE thing that they're struggling with, that causes those sorts of emotional roller coasters. And he could be a strong dude, you know what I'm saying? But then have a low point.
Yeah. And
sometimes that low point gets so low that, and all it takes is a moment to decide to do something like that. And those low points, a lot of times we don't know how to come out of those low points, man. And that's the struggle. I mean, you could be the strongest dude anybody knows, right? You could have it all together, moving all, but then you hit that low. And it seems like we read about that kind all of the time. These guys who are really looking like they have, everything sort of lined up. But when those lows hit you, man, they hit you hard as shit.
And sometimes if you're that dude who's taking care of shit, if you're that dude who, people rely on, who you're the shoulder, people forget that you need a shoulder.
Yep.
And so if you're going through 5, 10, 15, 20 years of not having a shoulder or feeling like you always have to put your needs to the side, a lot of those, because we all have low moments.
Yeah.
It's just, how do you manage them, and what kind of community do you have that supports you through them?
Yep.
And if you're that person in your community, you have a lot of those low moments.
Yep.
And then I think that sometimes it kind of just builds up, because it's like the squeaky wheel gets the oil, whatever the fuck the phrase is. And so, unless you're up complaining about how much you're in pain, unless you're talking about how much money you don't have, or how you're struggling to pay this or that, people won't know. And I think we were talking the other day about how sometimes, depending on where we are or what we got going on, we try to move with abundance, or with the feeling of abundance. And that can be misconstrued as we don't need at times. And sometimes we might be so focused on moving and helping that space is never really created for us to get what we need from these situations.
Yeah, and again, dog, this is not unique to us. It's probably a lot of cats that feel the same way, man. And sometimes it don't hit you until those quiet moments. Like, you're doing so much and you're moving around, and in those quiet moments, that's when that low, and you just get to a bottom, man, and you don't know how to deal with that shit. You don't know. You don't know how to come out of it. I mean, sometimes and people do different things. Sometimes some dudes power through it, feel like that they have to power through. Some dudes feel like, that they got to shake it off and all of that. Sometimes you just got to kind of let it flow through you. And sometimes it get too low, you know what I'm saying? And, it's tough, man. And some dudes medicate through different whatever, you know what I'm saying? Some dudes do anything not to feel that shit. And that, all those things, man, are tough situations to navigate.
And that's how that shit really shows up, I think, because pain, like, I see it kind of like as pain management.
Yep.
I used to use women as a form of managing my pain.
I think a lot of dudes do.
Distractor.
Yep.
And I think a lot of times we think these things are in like a substance.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be in a behavior pattern,
Yep.
or in how we interact with other people and what we use. Because at the end of the day, you're just basically saying, I don't know, or I don't want to say I don't know. Like there's something that you're struggling with, and this is something that's outside of you that's helping you manage it. And really managing, in my mind, when I think about it, and at least as it relates to this kind of stuff, is just putting it to the side.
Yeah. Or just easing the edges off the shit. Because it doesn't go away. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of ease the edges. And like you said, just it's a distraction that keeps you from the lowest lows. You know what I'm saying? It's a survival technique that keeps you from, all the way low, that you feel desperate enough that you got to manage this and medicate it by whatever means that you got to do it. And that shit, and none of it is healthy, man. None of it is a way to, because we don't know how to, we said this last week, we don't know how to deal with the shit that we really got going. You know what I'm saying? We never were given the tools, we never were taught how to deal with a lot of the stuff. And a lot of the stuff, come on, man, it's 2 decades in the making, and in the forming, and that shit is like a diamond that's created from rocks being pushed together so hard, dog, that it creates this thing. And that shit is so powerful and strong that you don't know really what to do with it, other than to try to push it around.
And that's why I think,
it comes through your life, dog, and it motherfucking wipes away every goddamn thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That shit is like a tsunami that cleans out every goddamn thing, and you're left feeling worse than you were before. But go ahead, I interrupt you.
No, it's cool, because I think that was a good point to illustrate, and it paints a good picture in my mind of just kind of like what that looks and feels like, because you can definitely feel that.
Yeah.
But this concept of checking on your strong friends, is one that I think involves putting your own stuff to the side.
Yeah.
Let me change this damn thing. Is putting your own stuff to the side and having a connection with somebody to just let them know that you see them. Right. Because as dysfunction, as unfortunate as those low situations are. Right. And it is a broad spectrum. When I'm thinking of the strong friend, I'm thinking of not the one who's at that moment where they're getting ready to wild out. Right. But the ones who just feel like, the ones who don't get their space. Right. And not because they're getting ready, because like, dude, I don't want to have to say that I'm getting ready to wild out for somebody to call and check on me. Right. Like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that there's a lot, I think that is where the majority of people exist. Yep. And so those people, men, women, whatever, who are walking around being all of these things for other people, they're being that to other people who have like these like prominent needs. Right. And generally when you do that, it's kind of like with your kids, man. We were talking about last week. Yeah. You got to put your shit to the side when somebody called, when the kids call and they say something going on in school, or if they need some tuition paid or whatever, and you had to do some other shit, and you got to take 10 grand from here and put it somewhere else. Ain't nobody, like, they are literally in need. Yeah. But
Yeah.
Need basically means that you're taking something from somewhere and reassigning it to actually like fulfill a need or to help somebody.
Yeah.
And those people who we're doing that for, a lot of times forget that there's a space created when we're showing up for them in a specific way.
Yeah.
And it's important to make sure that that cycle is returned.
Yeah.
Or that cycle is completed.
Yeah.
Whether you see our need or not.
Yeah.
I might not necessarily need money.
Right.
That might not be the thing I come to you for. So
Right.
that, you know, if I make $500,000 a year and you make $50,000 a year,
right.
we got a different relationship with money.
Yeah.
My need money is very different than your need money.
Yeah.
But I might need somebody to call me. I might need somebody to be like, hey man, what you doing? I'm about to step outside. Come out, man. We're going to go grab something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just to feel like, you know, I'm seen or whatever, that might be what I need.
Yeah, it's that's absolutely right, man. And it goes across a lot of relationships. I mean, your spouse, your parents, your siblings, your whatever the relationship is.
That's a good point.
Yourself, that, you know, a lot of times we don't, also to on the other side of that, checking on a strong friend is being someone who can be checked up on, like feel like that, recognizing that there are people in your life that care about you, that do check up on you, that do. And when you get those moments, these are moments for you to say, you know, and sometimes it ain't no long drawn out, you know, conversations about the shit that you're dealing with. Sometimes it's just, man, like you said, let's go get something to eat, or let's go, you know, let's go kick it, man. Let's go do something, just to have an interaction with someone that you feel like that can sort of replenish you in a way that you just, somebody who gives a damn about you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who is, there's no need, you're not fulfilling a need, you're not doing, you just being.
Yeah.
And sometimes it shows up that way, but you got to be a person that's receptive to that. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of is on both sides of that.
And I see you as the dude that is not very receptive.
Not at all.
To that kind of shit.
Not at all.
And why do you think that is?
Fuck if I know. I don't know, man. I think that I've always been. It's a lot of different, and it shows up for different people in different ways. I think I've always been the cat that didn't want to be a burden to anybody. So, you know, and it's a lot of dudes like that, man, who don't want to be a burden, who suffer in silence because they don't want to be seen as a burden to somebody else, or you know, this motherfucker again always got something going. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the strong person that's supporting other people, not, you know, feeling like that you need the support. So you kind of suffer, not really suffer, but you kind of deal with it in your own space and in your own head a lot of the times, man. And again, this goes across all relationships. It ain't nothing, you know, it's not no, and then you medicate. That's the shit that you do. You know what I'm saying? You figure out what's gonna medicate whatever you're feeling in those moments, and you use that shit, and then you move on to the next thing.
Do you feel you're getting better with that?
Definitely, man. I feel like, I mean, just understanding, for me, just understanding that sometimes you just gotta feel the shit and just kind of let that shit go through and then come out on the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing, you know, you never can be strong enough to deal with the shit. You're fighting a losing battle every time you try to take the shit head on and try to wrestle with the shit. You gotta just let that shit go through, and it's just, and dog, what I've learned is it's a feeling. And feelings come and feelings go. You feel it, it goes through, it moves on, and then you move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to necessarily fight the feeling of it. You don't have to necessarily feel like that you can't feel this way. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling, let that shit go through, and then, you know, move on to the next thing. But you got to give yourself space to have those feelings.
So as an outsider, and So to offer a perspective that's on the other side of
Right.
of you, I do think you're getting better with
Right.
the shit. And especially I would say in like the last month and a half, bro, like you really been. And here's the thing too, man, like how do I say it? It's I feel like you're better at addressing the
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
because you're letting it go.
Yes.
And
Yep.
a part of letting it go,
Yeah. Yeah.
from what I'm seeing with you,
Yeah.
is just even talking about it.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
I get the, I know I'm a pushy motherfucker at times, dog. And I'm really in touch with my emotions in a lot of ways. And I think that sometimes the way I even broach certain subjects
Right.
are kind of like in a way to where like, I feel like sometimes I'm just probing or prying or whatever the case may be. And sometimes I feel like it's not respecting the other person's space.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like that with you because I'll say some shit, hey, man, what's going on? And you know how you are. You'll be like, whatever. It'll be like some real surface level shit. I know you're going through something because I
Right.
can. The vibe is what it is. Like there's the tension is palpable, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to talk about it, and I'm like, okay, cool, and then we move on to something else.
Right.
I found that from an energy perspective, the fact that because I do, and just to let you know, that's my way of checking in on you.
Right.
I know you are a strong motherfucker. I know you got shit managed. As a person who is on the outside observing you, sometimes I feel like you just need to talk about this shit
Right.
in a way and to just have an ear. Kind of like how we were talking about with the kids and shit.
Yep.
Because like letting that shit fester
Yeah.
inside of you, man,
Yep.
it turns into something else.
That shit is poison, dog.
And the last thing we want to be as old motherfuckers is bitter, bro.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. That's
being a 55-year-old bitter black man is hustling backwards.
And dog, it's if you get to 55, because a lot of times if you don't understand how to deal with that shit in a productive, healthy way, that shit will kill you. It's poison, man. And you feel it, and you feel physically different, dog. You feel, you feel that your motherfucking your existence, dog, your physical existence is like is being squeezed. You know what I'm saying? And once you decide that you're gonna change your patterns to start learning how to let shit go, or go through the shit and then let that shit go, dog, that shit will squeeze the life out of you. This shit is poison, and I can't say that enough.
And that's the and the reason why I went down that path is because when you're checking in and like you saying, being open to the check-ins.
Right.
And thank you for because that is, if you are that kind of person who's not open, the best way, I think, like you can let a lot of that shit go. And I'm seeing you let a lot of shit go. And sometimes I always feel like I'm gonna say the wrong shit. But I feel like it's not like we're broken people. So I don't
Right.
want to say like the painting a picture
Yeah.
that a motherfucker's just somewhere sobbing and just like trying to figure, listening to Sade and fucking Anita Baker, and every time you call, that's not what this is, right? It's when you in tune with a motherfucker,
Yeah.
you know where they at and what's going on.
And it's way more nuanced.
It's extremely, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Extremely. And so it's not like you being a burden. I know what burden looks like.
Right.
Them and it's a whole different kind of.
Yeah.
That looks different.
Yeah.
And I think the feeling that it's a burden, I think sometimes, and I'm not projecting this onto you, I think a lot of times we use that as an excuse. Not to say that you did, but a lot of times people use the idea of that as an excuse, because sharing is like a muscle, and it's not something that they're used to flexing, and they're used to being. There's a fear of probably judgment, or somebody's gonna think they're weak, and all of these other things, and so we'll just default to burden.
Yeah, and the crazy shit is, dog, even saying it, because a lot of times whatever we're feeling and going through, we don't say it.
Yeah.
We just kind of we replay it in our minds, and we sort of interact with it in our brains, but we don't say it out loud. And saying it sometimes is going through it. Saying it evokes a level of emotion to go through something that you can talk through and get to the other side. That's why therapy exists.
I think it's like writing too. Like who was I talked to the other day? It was like, if you write this shit down, like there's something,
right.
It shifts your relationship to the thing.
Exactly.
And just verbalizing it out loud.
Exactly.
And processing it in a way to help crystallize the thought or the feeling, other than just having it linger.
Yeah.
Because I think that's when the shit floats, bro.
Yeah.
It can turn into any motherfucking thing.
When that shit exists in your head, dog, you replay that shit over and over and over, and that's all you do, dog. But once you say it, it becomes a physical thing that you can either talk through, work through, feel through, whatever you need to do. It turns into, or you write it down. It's the same shit. It turns into a physical. It becomes an entity, something different that you can then interact with and relate to on a different level. So that's that piece. Saying it is hard because now it exists. Now it's just not in your head anymore. Now it really exists, and you got to deal with it on that level. And again, I'm gonna say this, man. A lot of times the feelings that we feel a lot of times we attach them to certain situations or certain things going on in our lives, right? But these feelings are from shit way back in the day. This new thing in front of you is just something that exists right now.
Yeah.
This shit is from so it's not, it doesn't come from a place of this thing, this situation you're dealing with. It comes from the feeling that from a long time ago that always existed, and now this is just the latest in a long line of shit that made you respond to it that way. So dealing with the feeling of it, man, and understanding that only you can deal with your own feelings and how you interact with it. All that shit is to help you to get there.
And we all got people in our lives who are on one of those sides of that coin.
Yep.
And just being mindful of the fact that if you're feeling a certain way, there's probably somebody in your circle who's not.
Yep. And
that check in, see what's popping.
Yeah.
Shit goes a long way, man.
Yeah.
It goes a long way.
Yep. And again, we said this before, dog. It ain't about this sort of very intentional, deep ass, hey man, let's have a conversation about this. No, sometimes it's just being there, being available and accessible, dog, that you feel like someone can just be there when you need them there, or just be around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Check in on you to make sure you're good. And even if you're not good, they, all right, well, whatever you need, you just let me know, I'm here. So.
How do you feel you do with your checkups and check-ins?
I've tried to be better at them, man. I'm still sort of, that's not true. I think that I'm getting better at the checkup and check-ins. And again, for me, man, a lot of times it's not, the way I approach it is, I'm just seeing how you doing. If you let's go get something to eat. Come through. Let's get a drink. I got a buddy, man, good friend of mine, man, who's going through something now, and just being there. Yeah. Just it ain't got to be here's a shoulder to cry on so much if that ain't where they are in the space. Sometimes it's a matter of let's talk. You know what I'm saying? What's the latest? What's going on? How you feeling? What, you know? And if they want to talk, then they talk. If not, then we just kick it.
Man, I was I had an interaction. I don't want to go into a lot of detail about it, but I had an interaction with a homeless dude last week, and I was outside having a conversation, and the homeless dude walked by and he stopped and he just started talking to me.
Yeah.
And we talked for a little bit, and I was like, oh, I want to come back tomorrow and talk to you. So I went back the following day.
Yeah.
And talked to him. And I took him some food. He wanted a hamburger and fries, bad, bro. So I went and took him a hamburger and fries, right?
Yeah.
And this brother just started crying, man. He didn't want anything. He didn't, from me, even though he wanted the hamburger and fries, like that was normally people asking for money and all that. He didn't want anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And as you were talking, it made me think about physical touch of men.
Yeah.
And the dude hugged me, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And this was like a hug that you would give your daddy or a son or somebody you hadn't seen in a long time. You know, like normally when you hug somebody, you bring in the shoulder.
Yeah, yeah.
Like this was like a hug.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember being so uncomfortable in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was so uncomfortable. And you know when you ready, okay, man, motherfucker, this been a long time. We get ready. And so I'm trying to loosen up my arms to feel his arms loosen up.
Right.
And his arms didn't loosen up. And so I'm like, damn, we got to keep going. Right. And so I kept going. And as I kept hugging him, it kept feeling, and like the longer we hugged, I felt like his hug was getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter.
Right.
And I was just like, I haven't hugged a person like that, especially a man. And I think so much of our shit is dudes, man.
Yeah.
Is around all of this discomfort and all this old bullshit. And I think sometimes, man, and I don't know what that shit looks like with dudes or whatever, or how that shit shows up. I think it's like a Iyanla Vanzant. She look like she know how to give real motherfucking hugs. Bro. When you watch that Fix My Life shit or whatever it's called, and like a dude will just sit there and like lay on her bosom and just cry the fuck out. I think sometimes dudes just want to hug and don't know how to say, hey, you mind giving me a hug?
Yeah.
Because that shit sounds wild coming from a 50-year-old. But if you're human and you require and human touch and human interaction is essential, does that ever go away? And how can we be, because I think a part of this shit too, man, is letting your tribe know what you need. And not to say, I'm going to hug you if you call me one day saying, man, I need a hug. But
only immediately turn you down.
Right.
You know, I can't do that.
But I think that's a part of the conversation. Or at least the idea of it. And I don't know how that shit looks, bro. I mean, I can't front. I don't know.
I don't either. I can't even a piece of that though could be the fact that you recognized him in a world where he probably is barely ever seen as a human being, right? Let alone a person with,
But ain't that us?
Needs. Yes, absolutely.
I mean,
you're absolutely right, dog.
But I don't see that. I mean, think of how often you probably go through life, dog, feeling like you're not seen and not appreciated. I feel it. I feel like, a lot of times I feel like I'm misunderstood. I feel like motherfuckers don't know where I'm coming from. Shit, my anger or my emotions come out in a way that don't do a good enough job, and then that fucking pisses me off. And it's like, God damn, can't nobody see what it is that I'm trying to do.
You're right.
And then a motherfucker just comes over and looks at you and gives you a hug and makes you feel seen.
Right.
At least for him.
Yeah.
He got every motherfucking body ignoring him. We got people around us who we love, who we got connections to, who are ignoring us.
Yeah.
And I think that can be just as
Yeah.
Just as traumatic as
Yeah.
just being a homeless cat. I think it's all the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we choose it too, man. Sometimes we choose to. I think there's a man stigma of strength that includes being able to handle all situations that come your way, and without any help, without any mark on you, like you brush the shit off and you just keep pushing. Like there's no, we feel no scarring or pain from any shit that's happened to us in our lives. We just power through everything, and that's sort of how we look at other men. So we don't see that, that another man can be in pain, can be in need of just emotional support. You know what I'm saying? We don't see that shit because that's not how we see manhood. So if we see a dude that's, we deem as a man that's doing his thing, we don't really. And dog, it's been, and think about this, out of all just in a couple years, all the people who've done wild shit to themselves, you know what I'm saying? From just that emotional space. And they were uber successful, you know what I'm saying? Or drugs have led them down to do, you know what I'm saying? That, we don't create spaces where man can feel anything other than grinding and success and fucking achievement and all of that. That's the only measurement we have. Anything short of that, we criticize as weak. And we call emotions weak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we can't even feel this because we think it's weak. So now we think it. We think other people think it. So we just spiral down into this thing, man.
And if you got a homeboy, if you got a friend, if you got a husband, if you got whatever the motherfucker's title is in your life, he's alive, right?
Yeah.
So he got emotions.
Yep. All of them.
All
emotions.
Just check up on him.
Yeah.
Just be like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah.
How you doing? What do you need?
Yeah.
Ain't talked to you in a while.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is, let them know that they see you. It's
yeah, man.
Let them know that you see them. And that's the kind of shit, like even with the homeless people, bro.
Yeah.
People ignore them. That pisses me off to no end.
Yeah.
If a motherfucker is sitting right there, talking to you, acknowledge their existence, bro.
It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. People feel uncomfortable with the shit. Like,
you should be uncomfortable ignoring a human being.
Man, that's not. Man,
that should make you uncomfortable.
You're absolutely right, dog. But people, anything that fits outside of their narrow view of what human interactions is, people are uncomfortable speaking to anybody they don't know. You know what I'm saying? People don't know how to interact with strangers in a way that's just interacting with a stranger. I've been walking down streets, going to work when it was going to work, and seeing people that I see damn near every morning. And it's a struggle for them to say good morning. I'll be like, good morning. And it's a struggle for them because they're uncomfortable with interactions.
There's a dude I used to work with, and people would say he was like an asshole or whatever. And so every time he came into work, bro, he was like one of them. Imagine if it took you 3.5 hours to get to work when it should take you 30 minutes. And you always argue with your wife when you leave, and you don't never have no coffee.
Damn.
And imagine how you would be showing up to work every day. This was this dude every day. So every time somebody spoke to him when he came in, he would just ignore everybody.
Yeah.
And when I first started working there, I was like, hold on, this don't feel right. I'm looking dead at this motherfucker.
Right.
He's looking at me. He's ignoring me.
Right.
And I walked up to him and I was like, look, man, I know you know I'm speaking to you. And I was like, I'm not even upset. I don't know what you got going on. I said, I'm going to speak to you every single day until you start speaking back.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would go out of my way over by his office and I'd be like, hey, how you doing? He'd be looking. And then after a while, he'd be like, hey, how's it going? Dude, by the time we got done, he'd be coming by my desk. and he was God, where's he from? I can't remember where he's from. But and then he would come over, morning, James, and I'd be like, what's up, man? How you doing?
That's funny.
And that was just kind of like how, and I still keep in contact with him periodically to this day, man, because he turned out to be, he was a sweet dude. He's the first dude. He used to bring, he was a hell of a cook, and I had, he made sheep brain. And he brought some sheep brain to work. And I wanted to taste that. And I was like, okay, I'm never doing this again.
Right, I ain't doing it.
Shit kind of looked like cauliflower.
I know, I couldn't even imagine what that shit looked like.
It tasted like how you think brain would taste. But anyway, I'm veering off a little bit. But I think that sometimes we never know what people are going through. And a lot of times we take what we see personally. And most of the time it ain't even about us.
All of the time, it ain't really about us. 90% of the time.
True.
Yeah, I got a boy, man, and I feel so bad, man. I need to get, this is one cat, man, that he always checks in. Like, he'll just call and be like, man, what's going on, man? I'm just calling to see what's going on. Nicest dude in the world, man. And I don't do the same as much as I do it when I think about it. Not definitely as much as I should, because and it's funny, man, what we just talked about, like, some people just come into some people are in our lives, dog, and we're friends with. They're not a shoulder to cry on. They're not there to ease the pain of whatever you're going through in the more classic listen to you rant way. They're there just to be that moment of, hey man, what's going on? How you all right? You good?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's up? A nice little conversation that ain't got nothing to do with life. It's just a conversation about whatever, dog. And sometimes those things mean the world because they're just moments. You're just in the moment right now. You're not thinking about all of the shit. Again, thinking about all the things that happened to you in the past and how it's affecting you right now and what you're going through. Nah, I'm just talking about the moment. Me and him are having this conversation in this moment right now, just kicking it. And he's a nice dude, you know what I'm saying? He's always positive. He's always got positive things to say, and we just kick it. And there's a value to that, man, that I think that we miss a lot of the time.
And so,
that's crazy. So what about you, man? When because you're that strong dude too, in a sense. Well, not in a sense. You're that strong dude too. But, when you go through, do you feel like that you have people in your life do you feel like that you reach out, or do you just feel like that you kind of, because sometimes, because we had a conversation before about how when you get in those spaces, you want to be of service. Yeah. And that kind of moves you in a different direction. Is that sort of, do you see that as you actually working through it, or do you just see that as another way to kind of shove it to the side?
So I'm a dot connector, man. And so as I'm talking to you as an example,
right,
I'm also talking to me. But your situation creates a new perspective that I get to connect my dots to.
Right.
And so if I need something, and it's taken me a long time to get to that point. I used to struggle with my needs and telling people what I need. So I would just sit back and pout.
Grown man pouting.
GMP. GMP. Hashtag GMP. Or in like the grown man way. And sometimes I still do that, and I'll go through it.
Right.
Just understanding what the feelings are. But I'll call you and be like, hey man, what's going on? I need to get out of this house.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I got that.
So, and when you being slight and don't respond sometimes,
Go ahead, man.
Hey, man, it is what it is, bro. You act. I
respond, but I might not respond immediately.
So that's what I'm saying, bro. I need it at that moment.
Huh? All right, dog, you're right.
It's not fair.
You're right.
I don't hold it against you.
Yeah,
it's
the fact, right?
So I ain't saying you a shitty person because you don't respond in 3 seconds, but so I'll be like, yo, I might bounce somewhere else,
right,
or do something else because I need to get out of the house,
yeah,
or. So I've gotten to a point now to where I'm really comfortable with doing that. But a lot of times when I'm feeling that way, it's because sometimes I get caught up in these mental loops that I struggle with at times. And I think I'm probably always going to, and I'm cool with that. Like I ain't beating myself up about it or nothing. But I have a constructive way of managing it, and I understand what it is when I'm going through it.
So how did you get there? How long have you been managing it in that constructive way, and how did you get to be able to do that? What were you doing before?
Wilding.
And then what was it? Something that happened that made you sort of turn that corner, or was it a gradual?
It was the depression stuff that I was going through to figure out. And we were talking about the buckets and shit.
Right.
And so those things I've kind of implemented in my life. And so, and this podcast and transparency and being honest about your shit is a part of it, too.
Absolutely.
Because, everybody ain't shit, right?
Everybody.
Literally, everybody ain't shit.
Everybody.
And if you are a person who's walking around talking about you ain't shit, then you just a clandestine ain't shit person.
Right. That's it.
I want to own it.
That's it.
I want to embrace it.
Yeah.
And see it as a part of the process, and then invite others to do the same if they choose to. Because just like the person who's choosing not to be, I don't have to beat them up about what they choosing not to do or not to be. And so I'm getting I'm getting more comfortable with who I am, and who I am is this emotional and person. And I don't see it as a bad thing. I'm not saying that as if it's bad, but and I feel like it's one of my superpowers. It's how I connect to other people. It's how I connect with myself. It's how I know when something's going on with life and I need to tune in a little bit more. Because if I wasn't that motherfucker, I probably wouldn't give a shit because he keeps his shit off to the side.
Right.
He ain't gonna be the motherfucker that's gonna call and be like, I need to get out of the house.
Right.
He ain't gonna ever do that. That ain't where he at.
Right. Right.
But I might talk to you today and I'll be like, I might hear something. And I might call the next day and be like, hey man, what you doing?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out of the house.
Right. Right.
Because that's a part of those. I need to get out of the house too.
Yeah.
Because my antennas picked up that I needed to connect with you.
Yeah.
But I just can't say that. So I got to play this little game with my girlfriend.
What? There this motherfucker go again.
Nah, but see, all of that is.
Yeah. So like I said, to get back to what we were talking about, so when you decided that you were gonna do it in more constructive ways, was it a gradual thing, or was it something that you just kind of, because some of the things that you've done, you just kind of turned a corner. Like one day you just woke up and be like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? But other things are more gradual, or how, in terms of, and I say that because there are people out there who want, who sort of have the same, but it's hard to replace those destructive habits, dog.
Bro, for me, and I was just bullshitting. I am a believer that motherfuckers, when they want to do something, they will do it.
Clean.
That is just 100% my belief. Out of all these goddamn books, out of whatever the case may be, like that's just, because I believe if we're gods, if we create our destiny, if we create our reality, that means we're either consciously choosing it or subconsciously choosing it, but we're choosing it.
Yeah.
And I can choose. And so before I would bullshit behind choosing, and I would use it as an excuse because I really didn't want to do the work. Now I want to do the work.
Right.
The work is dope. Even I have a different kind of relationship to what I feel my truth is.
So do you think that the work is something that you always knew, or is it something that you had to discover? Like the process, the habits, the patterns, was it something that you had to create, or is it something that you always knew that you were just bullshitting, but you know what the patterns are?
Both. I knew I could do something different. I just didn't want to do something different. Because I liked the way that it felt, man. Like, feeling like, it's motherfuckers who are addicted to drama.
Yeah.
Who are addicted to feeling bad.
Yep.
Because that's all they know. And the idea of feeling good. Like I used to tell people all the time, man, how some people are scared of failure? Yeah. I was a motherfucker that was scared of success.
Yeah.
I would sabotage myself. I had enough insight into the conversations that was going on in my head that I knew that I would create this path to go down.
Wow.
Like, because I was like, boom. And I knew that. And I knew when I was doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But.
Yeah, dog.
Because I wanted to create that. I wanted to create the feeling, like those valleys of the highs and the lows, and then the ride that you go on to get between them. That shit is addictive.
Yeah.
And I had to say, I had to take control over that. I still do it, but I am clear on the ride. Like it's like when you go to the amusement park. I know I'm getting ready to go to fucking Six Flags, bro.
Right.
And when I want to leave,
Yeah.
I'll leave.
Yeah.
But I ain't sitting there just getting on all the rides saying somebody making me go on the rides.
Yeah.
I know that I'm choosing to get on these fucking rides.
Yeah, and we and it's a dangerous game because the lows like that drop, a lot of times we don't know where that motherfucker is gonna end. Like for me, a lot of times, man, the drop, I don't know where the fuck the bottom of that or where it comes up or if it comes up. It's like a dark ass drop. And you're just, at some point, you just end up coming up out the motherfucker through, I don't know, the grace of God. Like somebody, some ancestor, some spirit, somebody says, all right, motherfucker, let me put you, at least try to put your dumb ass in a different direction. Let me try to give you something in your existence that'll make you at least start to come up. But what you're saying is, dog, the work is what keeps those drops from being as dark and as deep and as steep. And you get to choose whether you even, when you go, how you experience, all of that is a choice that you make.
Like today, man, I knew I wasn't. I was in somewhat of a down mood. Just put on some music, man.
Yeah.
And I don't want to oversimplify the process for getting in and out.
Yeah.
This is my relationship to my emotions.
Right.
So it's not necessarily, I'm not criticizing someone else for not being able to do it. And I'm not saying this is the only way to do it.
Right.
But I got a relationship with myself now, man, to where like I'm real cool with me, bro.
Yeah.
And I got a good vibe, and I'm clean with me.
Yeah.
And I love me, and I like, and so even the idea of playing the music today before you got here, because it was kind of like picking up my spirit, because I wasn't necessarily in the best mood. And I was like, okay, went outside a little earlier today.
Yeah.
Like this is my relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what I have to do.
And we all have, I think that we all have, I mean, part of this journey is finding those relationships and those things. And like you said, dog, sometimes it's hard because sometimes it's beyond, I can't say sometimes it's hard, but sometimes it's, man, people go through some shit and they don't, and have gone through some shit from way back, and they've never sort of made peace with that shit. So it's hard to, that when that storm comes, dog, it's like a storm, and you can't stop no storm. Dog.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But at some point, you don't have to, but at some point, feeling that storm coming and knowing how to fortify yourself through the storm, or knowing how to help you deal with the storm. Or sometimes it's a matter of, moving your physical location so that you can kind of navigate the storm a little differently.
And that's But to know to even, and I think that we all have tapped into something on one level or another about this stuff, right?
Right.
It just depends on what your relationship is to it.
Yep.
And that's, and having the people in your life that kind of like help you with that. Because I think sometimes just being there is enough.
Yeah.
And if you, and if somebody helped you, like my idea of it, and from that cycle thing, is just to be that for somebody else.
Yeah, man.
Like, cause I can't tell you how important that is. And that, and checking up on your strong friends, dog, being available, being there, showing up.
Yep. However you can show up.
However you can.
Right.
Makes you that thing.
Yeah.
Doing
That's
it.
it, dog. That's it.
Doesn't have to. You get to choose if you want that. Like so like the I could say that to me.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to be me.
Right.
But at least by doing it, I'm proving to myself that I can be something different than what I would say I was being if I wasn't doing it. I don't know if that makes sense, bro.
Yeah, it does. And different from what you tell yourself you are in certain moments.
Like if I'm showing up for somebody and knocking on their door, hey man, what's going on? How you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Like I can't say I'm a piece of shit. I just help somebody. Now I can, but the act of doing that helps me tell a different story.
Yep.
Because all of these thoughts in our heads are just stories.
Yep, that's right.
And so
that's right.
Checking up on your strong friend can help you tell a different story about yourself.
Yep. Yeah.
It might help get you out of it. It's like the motherfuckers. I was reading this book. It said, whatever you feel you don't have, give.
Yep.
Whatever you feel you don't have.
That's facts. That's facts. And again, dog, I don't want it to seem like they're these huge acts. Sometimes it's small.
Small, bro.
Sometimes it's the little
Most of the time it's small.
Yes. Yeah.
It's 99% small.
Yep.
Rarely are you gonna be put in a position to take a bullet for a motherfucker.
Yep.
That ain't how you supposed to show up.
Right. Or talk him off the ledge.
You're supposed to show up.
Right.
But when somebody call you, don't fucking complain about your goddamn problem. But for some people, that's harder for them to do. They would rather take a bullet.
Yeah.
Like some motherfuckers walking around here would literally rather take a bullet than shut up.
Dog, that's big facts right there.
But that ain't your path.
Nope.
Like everybody ain't supposed to take one for the team in that way.
Right.
You take one for the team by taking a back seat.
Yeah. By listening. And just being there.
But
that's crazy. That's crazy.
I feel good about this, man. I think I like the vibe in the way. I didn't even, I never know where this shit gonna go, bro.
I know.
But I like where we ended up.
Yeah.
It felt all right.
So when like strong friends, man, when we talk about strong friends, that shows up a lot of different ways in my mind. It could be, it's not necessarily a level of success or fortitude or any of that. You know what I'm saying? Strength is, you can have a strong friend that's really struggling, but he's still your strong friend.
That's what when I think of strong friend, I'm thinking somebody who's someone. And if this strong friend recognizes this, if he watches, he's gonna know I'm talking about him. The person who always says everything is cool. Yeah. Doesn't really absorb the full ramifications doesn't absorb the full gravity of what they experienced or what's taking place. Yeah. Everything is always all right. Yeah. And everybody around them knows that that's not the case. Right. But they still show up. Yeah. They're still there. Yeah. They still have bubbly spirits. Yeah. We just know that they not taking care of them in the way that they need to. Yeah. Because for whatever reason.
Yeah.
To me, that is a strong friend.
Right.
And that's the person that you probably need to check up on the most.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna, because they're not ready to have their individual conversation.
Right.
Just knowing that there are people around them, because they're around a lot of people, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're not isolated.
A lot of strong friends got a lot of friends.
Yep.
Got a lot of people who will drink with them. Got a lot of people who get fucked up with them.
Yeah.
Got a lot of people they can smash.
Yeah.
Got a lot of people they could, they're full of bodies.
Right.
But not a lot of
Understanding
and
getting. A lot of people don't get them.
And maybe a part of the understanding for them too is just understanding that this is where they want to be.
Right.
But they should still be checked up on in a way.
And a lot of times, man, they feel like, they feel like if they surround themselves with people and activity and things, that'll make them feel better. And it could make them feel better in those moments. But, so they don't need to have these conversations about how they're feeling and what they're going through and what's really sort of they're processing, you know what I'm saying, in their brain, just to say it out loud. And that's part of medicating on a level. And what do you think the difference is between medicating and actually working through? Like, do we medicate to eventually work through, or do we just medicate just to push the shit to the side and never really?
To me, medication is not addressing the issue.
Yeah.
And maybe, to me, it's just not addressing the issue.
Yeah, I get that. Definitely.
Working and that's on an individual basis. Yep. Because it can look, a person could be doing the same thing, and one could be medication and the other one could be working through.
That's true.
It just depends.
Yeah.
That person knows.
Yeah.
They know how they feel.
Yeah.
They know the dots that are connecting.
Yeah.
And they know what they're addressing and what they're not.
Yeah.
They know that.
Yeah.
And so it just depends on how comfortable they are with that mental process.
That's it, dog. Yep. Yeah. But we gotta, I don't know, man. We gotta figure out, well, for this conversation, dog, it's about making sure that, check up on somebody.
Yeah.
Reach out.
The person, here's what I would say do. Whoever is there for you the most, call them.
Yeah. And not to talk about your shit.
Don't talk about your shit.
Right.
Don't talk about what's going on with you. And more than likely, when you call them, they're gonna be like, everything cool.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing going on. But don't call with the intent on fucking finding the lost art.
Right.
Like, just check in. It's like, because I hate that motherfucker too. Yeah. Like the one, now you ready to talk. Right. Now I got to open the fucking floodgates and tell you about first time I got touched by as a little boy. Like, whoa.
Right.
Stop the clock.
Right.
I just want.
Right.
It's go Saturday, to this vegan spot.
Right. It's Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, man.
I don't feel like having
I just got through watching Justice League, bro. You want me to relive a traumatic experience?
Right. That ain't where I'm at, man.
Motherfucker, lube it up first. Don't just stick it in.
Right. And then get an attitude when I don't want to.
Like, well, fuck this. I tried.
Right, exactly.
and then when you call them, hey, man, what's going on?
You toxic, nigga. You don't want to talk.
I'm all right, you. Right. Come on, man. You all right? I tried calling you the other day. I tried to be there for you. Bitch. Motherfuckers, boy, ain't
stupid,
shit.
Man.
So just, man. Don't ask them how they feelings and when's the first time they knew.
Right.
Like
pressing them out. Come on, man, talk to me, man. I'm just trying
to be human. Don't be no motherfucking.
I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. So just check up on your strong friend.
For sure.
And
for sure. And be willing to, if you are the strong friend, be willing to be checked up on, man.
Yeah.
Recognize that when people are doing that, because it comes in different ways.
And you know what's crazy? Now that I think about it, the profile of the person who watches these are probably strong people.
Yeah.
Because the weak motherfuckers is probably watching, Cardi B's TikTok. So
don't say that, man. He
my
ain't
bad,
mean that.
My bad. I don't know what the fuck, I don't even know what that means when I said it. So listen. More than likely they strong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And more than likely, you struggle in a very specific way that life does. And so be available. Be open to the strong, to the call, to the interaction.
Yep.
Like I can tell you from, just my personal experience that it can really open up your interaction with people, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, sometimes that interaction just brings you to a moment, to being in the moment.
Yeah.
And take that for what it is, man. And interact with people. Interact with people who care about you. That's where it shows up. People who care about you just want to make sure you're good. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just, just kicking it with you for a minute because they respect you. They care about you. They want to kick it with you, man. They take advantage of that. And they see you. That's when somebody call you and just want to kick it, they see you. They recognize you.
Yeah, because a lot of the times the feelings of not being seen is because we're not putting ourselves in positions to be seen.
Facts. And we end up in our head so much that we'll ignore when a motherfucker really can see you, does see you, and wants to see you. And seeing mean like just recognizing your humanity.
Yeah, not looking at your fucking
right,
man.
Exactly.
And just to be clear, it's not just weak people that watch Cardi B on TikTok. I was kidding.
You said it now. No, you can't take that shit back.
No, I just did. So
It's
that
on
means
the
I took it back.
It's on the internet. Once they take that clip, they ain't gonna play that part. They ain't gonna play the part you said about Cardi B.
Listen, bro. Fuck 'em.
Facts.
I would love. Wouldn't that be dope if Cardi be like, what you mean? I'd be like, Cardi, look.
Right.
Shut up. What you listening to, dog? Besides Cardi B?
Oh man, Cardi B. Hey, nah, dog. I started to get into some, and I said I'm gonna do a mix of this, man. But I've been like that. I don't know. It's defined nowadays, popular term as yacht rock, like Blue Eyed Soul, like Hall & Oates and Bob Skaggs and Christopher Cross.
Here's what we about to do.
Fire like that.
Life is going to create a podcast.
What?
I'm sorry. Life is going to create a mix. Check up on your strong man. Check up on your strong friends mix. And you're going to do that motherfucker and you're going to have it ready to load by the time we upload this.
He done said it now. I can't.
So you got it? Cause
I can't say nah.
Because you just brought it up.
I did.
And I was like, you can't be slight, bro.
I can't be slight. You're right.
You got to motherfucking do it.
I recognize that I was being slight, which means
but that's what I'm
obligated to not be
but
slight.
you were going to be okay with it until I stepped in.
Probably.
Man, listen, look, bro.
Probably.
We got 3 people who going to watch this. And I don't want them 3 motherfuckers, dog, to be thinking that, like, because you a reflection to me, dog. They're going to be like, if this nigga accepting slight, no.
He said he got 3 people. Shout out to 3 of them. Shout out to all 3 of them.
Shout out to all 3. Life gonna do a yacht rock mix.
Check up on your strong friend mix.
Until then.
Yep. What you listening to, dog?
Nothing.
Come on, dog. We just heard some good Eyes and Days.
You got me going.
Come on, dog. That joint's fire.
Circles.
Hey, check out Eyes and Days.
If you see me walking down the street and I by. Walk on by. Make believe that you just don't see the tears. So just let me grieve in private, 'cause each time I see you, I just can't help myself. I think about how tight we used to be. I break down and cry. Oh, baby, walk on by. I just can't get over losing you. So if I seem all broken in two, please walk on by. Walk on by. Foolish pride. Oh, that's all that I have left. So just let me hide the tears and the sadness you gave me. You put the hurt on me. You socked it to me, mama, when you said goodbye. So please walk on by. Make believe you never, never see the tears I cry. So do me a favor and walk on by. So I'm begging you to walk on by. Oh, mama, make believe you never see the tears I cry.